will now reconvene in open session. The time is 6:53. Thank you for your patience with us tonight. As we combined our workshop and regular board meeting, we thank you for taking time out of your busy schedule to join us tonight. At this time, we would respectfully ask you to turn off the sound of your cell phones. May I remind anyone wishing to address the board that they must have completed a public comment card before the start of the public portion of tonight's meeting indicating the agenda item or topic about which they wish to speak. As your Board of Trustees, we are here to set goals for the district, listen to reports presented by the superintendent and his designees, approve and renew the budget, approve certain personnel appointments and contracts, and make policy for the district. Management is a responsibility of the superintendent. It is the board's responsibility to govern the affairs of the district and to ensure that the district is moving forward in meeting the vision and goals that are set on an annual basis. Meeting times for the board meetings are posted on AISD website at AbileneISD.org. The public is invited to attend. This time, Ms. Allison Camp will come to lead us in the pledges. She is our Executive Director for Student Services. Thank you, Allison.
Lord, we come before you tonight and we ask for your presence and your wisdom. Give us insight to lead with integrity. We pray for you to guide us each day as we show others your love. Thank you for the many adults that serve our students in Abilene ISD. In your name we pray. Amen. Please stand at this time. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Now for the Texas Pledge. Honor the Texas flag. I pledge allegiance to thee, Texas, one state, under God, one and indivisible.
We'll now move on to item 4C, Board Superintendent Announcements. Dr. Kuhn, do you have anything for us tonight?
I just have a couple things. Student outcomes are taking center stage in our board meetings, and I wanted to just talk about the importance of student outcomes in the work we do in a general sense. A lot of times in my announcements, I share with you upcoming dates, and I'm not going to do that tonight. You guys can look that up on your calendar. But I just want to let you know, as we look ahead to the future of Abilene ISD, we will continue to put student outcomes first and foremost, and that'll be a big part of our conversation. So we're doing something new tonight, and I'm going to introduce Jordan Zemer. We have a video, and he's going to tell us about it, and this is going to become a regular feature of our board meetings.
Well, good evening, Madam President, Dr. Kuhn, and board. So as Dr. Kuhn just mentioned, we are focused on student outcomes. My team had the opportunity to collaborate with our curriculum and instruction team to create a new video series that reflects an outcome of your Lone Star Governance meeting. Dr. Kuhn texted me that weekend and he was like, hey, we want people to understand what's going on in our classrooms. And so we do too. So we had the opportunity to work with our curriculum and instruction team to create a video series called The Teaching Minute. And we will show you this during the announcements at each board meeting. The idea is for us to show you and our community what really goes on in our classrooms. We want people to know these are places of excitement, of energy, right? These are places of focus where our kids are growing and learning every single day, and our teachers are doing amazing work to lead to positive student outcomes. So all I'm going to do, with that prelude, I'm not going to give you this prelude every single meeting. You don't need to hear from me that much. I'm just going to press play, and I want you to enjoy on the screens what you see, kind of the everyday magic that happens in our classrooms every day.
Thanks, Jordan.
Everything is put away, and we are going to be measuring again. We've done some measuring in science, so now we're going to relate it to math. I have a whole lot of rice and beans up here, and this is what we are going to use to help us weigh and measure. So the readiness standard that we covered in this is 3.2a. It is composed and decomposed numbers up to 100,000 as a sum of tens, thousands, hundreds, and ones. So they were able to kind of relate to that with our decomposing our kilogram, and it leads into place value. When we started, I had a kilogram of beans and I took 100 grams out and put it into a cup. And then I had students come up and they were able to measure out 100 grams, and we filled up 10 cups to show that there are 10 100 grams in a kilogram. Well, we have 10 groups, so what's gonna go in the groups? 100. I want you to leave this first one blank though, and I'll tell you why in a second. They had a page on their desk that they also got to draw a little chart, and they made 10 groups, and then we put 100 grams in those. And then in one of those, they drew 10 groups of 10 grams. We just counted by 10. We went on to the next piece, which was they got to weigh things. So I walked around, handed them weights so they could feel what those felt like, and then they chose things from in the classroom. And they were like, is it gonna be closer to a kilogram, 100 grams, 10 grams, or 1 gram? And then they actually weighed it. And then after that, they moved on and got to solve some problems with those kind of questions. Would it be a gram? Would it be a kilogram? And just reasoning about what the weight would be. I think it's neat to give them those opportunities to have that kind of physical representation of what we're doing. It makes it real, and it engages their brains in a way that is different than just giving them a piece of paper and saying, well, what do you think about this? There's 100.
Oh, yeah, this is so much. Oh my goodness.
Very nice. Thank you for incorporating that. I'm looking forward to that now every month. Now we're going to move, this is correct, right? Now we're going to move on to item 6, oral communication from the public.
Oh, item 5, recognition.
I'm sorry, I do not want to skip that. That's the danger of me taking my hand off my paper. Sorry about that. Now we'll move on to item 5, recognitions. Coming up first, Dr. Stephanie Jackson, Executive Director of Secondary Curriculum and Instruction. Correct? No?
Well, Dr. Jackson's son had a little bit of an accident at gymnastics, and
Okay.
she is taking care of him.
Well, we
So
will tell her we are thinking about her, and we are happy to have you here in her stead.
I will. First of all, I would like our National Merit Scholarship committed students to join me at the podium, please. The National Merit Scholarship Corporation highlights about 34,000 commended students from across the country each year for their exceptional academic promise.
Hey students, if you're here for this portion, if you're a College Board National Recognition student, or if you're a National Merit Commended Scholar, if you're here for recognition, will you just join us up at the front? Just go ahead and come on up here.
My goodness, we are so happy to have you here.
Look at this. Congratulations, you guys. Wow.
Okay, so Sophia Hudson, are you here? Okay, come up here, please. You're first. You're on the spot first. And then I think Mr. Jackson's not here. Okay, go ahead.
Jackson's not here?
Will you read that one more time?
Okay, let me start over.
And by the way, this is Patty Blue, our Associate Superintendent for Curriculum.
Okay, so we are talking about National Merit Scholarship commended students, and this is Sophia Hudson, and she attends Adams. The National Merit Scholarship Corporation highlights about 34,000 commended students from across the country each year for their exceptional academic promise. While these students do not continue in the National Merit Scholarship process, they are recognized for placing in the top 3% of U.S. high school students who entered the competition by taking the preliminary SAT, National Merit Scholarship qualifying test. These students receive a National Merit Letter of Commendation from their school. So please congratulate Ms. Sophia Hudson.
Can I get a photo of you with the board? You can just go You can be front and center right here.
Right here. We are so happy that you're here with us.
That's you and me. It happens all the time. Congratulations. Way to go.
Mr. Ashton, do you want to come over and take a photo too?
Of course.
That way she's not by herself.
Congratulations, Sophia.
Wonderful. Okay, thank you, Dr. Kuhn. Ready? 1, 2, 3. Just a couple more for good measure. Congratulations.
Okay, and then this entire group behind me, these are College Board National Recognition students. The College Board National Recognition Program recognizes the academic achievements of African American, Hispanic, Latino, Native American, and first-generation students. 10th or 11th grade students can receive this recognition based on scoring in the top 10% of fall or spring PSAT test takers in Texas, or by earning a 3 or higher in 2 or more AP exams. They must also earn a cumulative GPA of a B+ or higher. So, if you are from Abilene High School, give us a wave. You'll see their names on the screen. If you're from Cooper High School, give us a wave. And then we have a group from Adams High School as well. Okay, now we want to try to coordinate a picture with all of you and the board.
All right, come on.
We can
Tall
do
ones in the
that.
back, tall ones in the back.
And where is,
This is awesome. Oh God, this is where I always.
I don't
get
need to
covered
stand
up.
behind that kid.
Any of you from Adams, can y'all build me a stool that I can stand
I
on?
need to stand on my chair. I think you and I should go down there on the floor.
All right. A rule of thumb is that if you can't see me, I can't see you. So if you want to kind of adjust
Look for
that
a
way.
gap.
I'm good. I'm used to this. I'm completely used to this.
We'll do our best to get everybody. Y'all did a good job. All right. Okay. Do 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Congratulations, guys.
Guys, you guys are awesome.
Way to go, you guys. Congratulations. Amazing.
For real.
okay, actually, are we okay?
No, I got this.
Okay.
Okay. Thank you. Jumping the gun. The dismisser over there. Okay, students, if you keep your attention. This is Truman Young. He's going to wave at you. Okay. Students, if you will meet him in the lobby just for a second, we're going to try to take one more nice photo of you, okay? So if you're here and you're willing to take a picture of that student group that was just here, we're going to try to take a framer photo we're going to hang in the building of you. So if you'll meet Truman in the lobby, head that way, and he'll take a quick picture of you.
Parents, thank y'all for joining us. This is what we're all about, student achievement. We're so happy for y'all. While they're making their way out, Miss Brady Duncan, you want to make your way up?
Here she is.
There she is.
You forgot a couple.
We'll give them just a minute.
Oh, of course.
Okay, go ahead. Miss Duncan will be talking to us about the Texas Educational Theater Association Outstanding District Award. She is our Fine Arts Coordinator. Thank you, Brady, for being
Want me
here.
to go ahead?
Sure.
Okay, great. All right, hello everyone. I'm Brady Sloan Duncan, Fine Arts Coordinator for the district, and here to share some exciting news from the world of fine arts. The Texas Educational Theater Association has recently created an award program that recognizes individual school districts making outstanding contributions to raising the standards for theater education in the state of Texas. Districts are encouraged to apply annually to receive recognition for achievement, growth, and excellence. When I first saw the criteria, I knew that our theater directors would receive a high score and that it would also help us better understand the statewide ideals of best practices in theater arts education. It involves completing a rubric of criteria with the opportunity to receive one of 4 designations determined by the total number of points a district has earned. Scoring criteria included access to district-provided theater-specific curriculum, facilities availability, technology access, number of performances, courses offered, and more. Our theater directors introduce students in our community to the extraordinary world of theater and offer numerous productions throughout the school year, resulting in many opportunities for students to participate both on stage and behind the scenes. In fact, this semester alone, we still have 3 fall shows and the Abilene High musical that you can see, so please check the Fine Arts calendar for that on our website. All of our directors are TXETA members. Am I getting a pause? Oh, sorry. I thought I heard something. All of our directors are TXETA members, and participation is extremely important for their success as it connects them with experts in their field to share techniques, innovative practices, provide leadership opportunities, and more. Our directors are among the top thespians in our area. They hold degrees in theater and theater education, have a wealth of experience in all aspects of theater, from acting and directing to scenic design and technical theater, and utilize facilities, ours, that rival or exceed surrounding theaters in our area. Attending TXETA helps them learn and grow from similarly sized or larger districts in areas like lighting and sound, choreography, best practices and curriculum, playwriting, directing, and especially how to share that knowledge with up to 150 students in a single day. At the TXETA Fall Conference a few weeks ago, Abilene ISD was officially awarded the recognition as an outstanding district in theater education. This is the second highest honor that can be achieved. Working with the theater directors in our district is an absolute joy, and I am overwhelmed with their tenacity and dedication. The Fine Arts Department appreciates the support and love from our district leaders and school board. While we may have known that our theater program is outstanding, we are thrilled that the state of Texas now knows that Abilene ISD is an outstanding district in the theater arts. Thank you. It's just me, so we probably don't need a picture. But you will see banners around campuses and signs.
Please express our congratulations to the entire team. That is fantastic.
Yes.
It was really fun. We all got to walk and accept the award together in Galveston.
Wonderful.
That's an amazing picture.
Great job. Keep up the great work.
All right.
Not at all surprised, so thank you. We'd like to welcome Ms. Lori Harris, Assistant Director of Alumni Engagement of Hardin-Simmons University. Welcome, Lori. She's going to be presenting Hardin-Simmons University Baptist Educators Serving Texas Award. We're glad to have you, Lori.
Hello, thank you for having me. We are honored to get to recognize Ms. Jennifer Jordan as our best educator of the year. We get to submit a couple of names of alumni who went to Hardin-Simmons and are educating and attending a Baptist church for this award. And this year, out of a couple of applicants that we put in, Jennifer was selected, and we are just thrilled. We know the work that goes in every day with our educators and are just thankful for the work that Jennifer has done in this district for so many years. So thank you for having us.
Come on up, Jennifer.
Let's take another picture.
Congratulations, Ms. Jordan.
Also, because it bears repeating, this is also Region 14 Secondary Teacher of the Year, Jennifer Jordan.
It
So
is. It's so nice when the choice is easy.
all right, same principle, y'all. Just make sure you can see me. Ready? 3, 2, 1. One more. 3, 2, 1. Thanks so much. Congratulations.
When is your, what is it? Okay.
Congratulations. And thank you to Hardin-Simmons University for recognizing Ms. Jordan.
We are always proud and never surprised when our AISD teachers come up with awards in our community. Our Miss Angela Valentine will join us. She is our Director of Health Services to introduce our School Health Advisory Council.
Good evening. It is my pleasure to introduce you to the members of our School Health Advisory Council for the 23-24 school year. The SHAC is a school board appointed group that made up of parents, community members, and school staff who assist the district in ensuring that local community values are reflected in health education instruction. We help to review programs and procedures that promote the physical and mental health of our students. We are an advisory group that makes recommendations to the board on topics such as health education, mental health services, nutrition, and physical activity, to name a few. We meet at least 4 times per year and as needed if more than that. Our members are, if y'all want to come join me, not everybody could be here tonight, but our members are Lainey Acosta, Christy Brokaw, Olga Shavana, Tyrone Gardner, Nayu Olaman, Gabrielle Paulo, Mary Roberts, Megan Roth, Carly Smith, Elizabeth Wilson, Chad Zellner, and myself.
And these folks volunteer their time to assist the school district. Thank y'all so much.
They do.
for what
They're
you do.
wonderful volunteers.
So, welcome. Thank y'all for coming.
Thank y'all very much. Thank you.
Such an exciting place to be on a Monday night.
All right, y'all, you ready? Okay, 3, 2, 1. One more, 3, 2, 1. Thank you very much for
Thank
serving.
you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Angela. Thank y'all.
Thank you.
Very appreciative to our community members who help things operate in our district. Another example of that, Miss Julie Wilson will come and help us. There we are. Director of our Head Start will introduce us and familiarize us with the Head Start Policy Council, which is made up of community members.
Yes, it is. Good evening, Board. Thank you for including us in these recognitions tonight. I'm excited to bring with you a policy council member that has been voted on by her peers in our parent committee meetings, and then she's also committed to her time to serve on the policy council. The policy council, together with each of you and the management team at the Early Childhood Programs, create a system of shared governance that is vital to the success of Head Start and our children. The policy council is made up of Head Start parents, early Head Start parents, and pre-K parents, and they get to meet monthly for several hours to learn about program updates, discuss and approve program decisions, and gather input on campus happenings. So these collaborative efforts with all of you all make our program better every single day. So thank you. I do want to tell you we have 10 representatives and 10 alternates, and I'm going to introduce you to Miss Lyric Godwin. She's representing everybody today. So thank you so much for coming. We appreciate them, and thank y'all for honoring them next time.
Thank you so much for your service, Ms. Godwin.
Yeah.
Well, we know if you have this age of a child, you're very busy. So
Very busy,
on
and she has
top
3
of-
others also, so she's got 4 at home that are under 5, so I appreciate her being here.
Thank you for giving your
Thank
time
you.
to
Thank
help
you.
us
Thank
in the
you.
school district.
You gonna be in it?
No,
Joe's not gonna be in it?
I'm the candid photographer.
I think Joe should be in it.
Stop it.
All right, ready, wait.
wait.
All right, now, 3, 2, 1, one more, 3, 2, 1. Thank you so much.
Thank you for your service.
Yes, you look lovely. That wraps up our recognition section of this evening. We'll now move on to item 6, oral communications from the public. The board encourages comments about the district from members of the public. Anyone wishing to address the board must have completed a public comment card before the start of the public portion of tonight's meeting, indicating the agenda item or topic about which they wish to speak. Oral communication from the public is governed by AISD policy BED local. Under the Texas Open Meetings Act, the board is not permitted to discuss or act upon any issues that are not on the agenda for the meeting. A speaker will be given up to 5 minutes to address the board, and if, however, the total number of speakers seeking to address the board at a meeting exceeds 5, the per speaker time limit may be reduced. In no event will a speaker be given less than 1 minute to address the board. Tonight we have 3 speakers, so we will not be adjusting the time, and Dr. Kuhn will monitor the time and make the speaker aware when the time is up. So, Dr. K, would you like to take a minute to familiarize our speakers with our timekeeping?
Yes, there's a monitor there at the podium that will show you how much time you have left, so you can just glance down at it, and when it gets to 5, it will stop and I'll let you know.
Okay, first, Anthony Williams, would you like to please join us at the podium and welcome? It's so good to see you here.
Good to see you, Board President Wiley and trustees. Dr. Kuhn, thank you for your time. I'll be speaking tonight, and so will Pastor Pins, and he is a pastor. Don't know if I give any of my time to him. He may need a bit more. I'll be short and sweet. Well, thank you for your time, and thank you for the work you do educating our children in this community. We came to you in early summer and talked to you about wanting to use the balance of summer to put together a plan for Woodson. This group has met every week since we last met, putting together an opportunity for us to benefit this community. For obvious reasons, it's going to benefit the Black community, but in conversation with Judge Crowley and Dr. Kuhn and City Manager Robert Hanna, this will also be a benefit when it comes to the entire community, addressing vocational issues that we talked about that are an offer from the school district, and at the same time putting in parameters that wouldn't affect the way you do your work here in this community. Pastor Pins, our historian and just a good Abilene, is going to provide an opportunity, an overview of what it will look like. You should know that we've looked at operational, maintenance, construction, and programming issues or opportunities for the school. We've engaged a grant writer with Dr. Kuhn. We looked at different means to support the construction, met with some local private entities here that may be interested too. And so we feel good about putting together a plan that we think provide funds for the renovation and then the ongoing operational expense of the facility. You've been very, very gracious. I know you have a lot of things on your plate as you try to re-engineer the school district here in our community, and we're appreciative of that and what you do. We think this complements that. These folks that work very, very hard, and this will be a benefit that will recognize the contribution of those who are from our past, but more importantly, provide opportunities for the future. Thank you so much for your time as I leave at 2:45.
We can probably accommodate that. Thank you very much. Next, Reverend Andrew Pins, please join us. We are so happy that you are here.
Good evening, everyone. To our superintendent is so grateful, to school board this evening, to the group that's here that's is supportive of our endeavor. My task tonight, I didn't come to preach a sermon, but I will give a little recap. As we speak about the Woodson School, the significance of that school from segregation into integration. And the thing is, in Abilene, when Brown versus Board of Education declared 1954, it almost taken another 10 years for the school board to actually consider going into integration. And integration mainly started in 1964. And on behalf of the Dice Elementary School and the Dice Air Force Base, was instrumental in making sure that integration was started here in Abilene, Texas. So as I want to speak about the history and the significance and our reason for acquiring that school, that we can further keep the history aspects of it, to get it preserved and also restore it, that it will be a positive in the Carver neighborhood. As we think about some of the problems that still exist today as far as segregation, integration, there are still some, and I do believe that I will not live to see the total change in my lifetime, but hopefully in some aspects of our history, and especially here in Abilene and throughout the United States, we will arrive at a point in time to where schools will be completely integrated and be able to work together to accomplish a great goal. The Carter J. Woodson Elementary School was first named the Abilene Colored School, and it moved 4 locations to the present site that it is there on 9th Street today. And then secondly, the decision made by the school board and educators of I see my time is running out, made the decision to name the school Carter J. Woodson Elementary and also the Carter J. Woodson High School to become the Carter J. Woodson Junior Senior High School. As we look at the school, the history aspects of it, with it being a historical marker there, that's a positive in the neighborhood, but also will give something even more greater and positive to help us to have a facility that will be open to not only to the community, but also to the entire city of Abilene, Texas. My plea tonight, as I stand before you, is to give deep thought within your hearts and in your conscience as you make the decision that we will be able to acquire that school. We do have pictures that are showing some of the history. Oh, that's my picture on there also.
Oh, my.
But we do have pictures that shows our history. It shows the significance of, that's the first, not the first yearbook, but we have the very first yearbook that was ever published. And I don't believe there's one in the library here at the school district. And also we have the last yearbook that was ever published. So this is some of the history, some of the aspects. And then for the committee that's been working diligently to put forth every effort, we have the planning of the school, the layout. We have the others that have joined in to help us to volunteer their time, their efforts to make sure that we will be able to restore, enhance, and to preserve that school that will be something that will stand in this community for a very long future. And for our children, our grandchildren, great-grandchildren will be a great part of that facility. And my plea to you tonight is really consider in your decision that we will be able to acquire not only the school, but that entire campus to do what is needed. And to the committee that's putting forth every effort that we can go forward and restore that school. It is in some disarray right now, but I do believe we can take that and move it forward. And it will be something that not only the school board will be proud of, but our community and our city will be proud of also. Thank you for your time. Thank you for listening to us. And do pray that we will be able to move forward from this point on.
Thank you, sir. Thank you for joining us tonight. Next, we have Tammy Fogel. Come and join us up here, Tammy. We appreciate your being here.
Thank you so much for doing what y'all do. I've learned so much being a part of the few meetings that I've been able to attend, and I was actually not here last time because I had the privilege of going to Austin to speak to the Texas State Board of Education. So I've really experienced a lot of educational board meetings in the last few months that I wasn't expecting, but I did go back and watch the meeting, and the reason why I wanted to address this is that I really appreciate y'all's acknowledgement of the board members, the people who serve in our community to help you guys out. And so you mentioned the school health advisory board, bringing that to the public's attention, and I just think that's a huge step because you need us to participate, and it's easier for us to know where we can participate when you allow us to see those who are serving alongside with you guys. So thank you for that. The other thing I wanted to mention was that, we've just started a chapter for Moms for Liberty here in Abilene, and it is dedicated to fighting the survival of America by unifying, educating, and empowering parents to defend their parental rights at all levels of government. And one of our goals at Moms for Liberty is to partner with you guys and be an asset to you so that you can do what you're called to do and what you've stepped up to do with much more ease and success. And so I'm still learning the ropes of what that looks like. And one of the first things I stepped out to do was ask if we could give constitutions to all the 8th graders. And I received permission to do that. And so I brought you a copy so you can see what all the 8th graders got. This is from the 1970 Society. And as we know, September 17th is Constitution Day. and they're trying to get constitutions in the hand of every 8th grader. And so I hope this starts something beautiful that we can continue to grow and do more with, because I offered this to several school districts, and y'all were the only one that allowed us to do that. So thank you very much. It's not lost on me how easy it is to say no, but thank you for giving us a chance, even though we did it kind of a little imperfectly. So I don't know who to give this to, but you'll take it.
I would love to have that. Thank you very much.
Anyway, thank you so much for what you do and letting us be a part of that.
Thank you.
Well, that does it for public comment. We are always happy to have that and welcome it to our meetings. We'll now move on to item 7, consent agenda. The AISD Board of Trustees meetings are preceded by an in-depth board workshop. The purpose of the workshop meeting is to discuss items in preparation for potential consideration at future board meetings. Meeting times for board meetings and workshops are posted on the AISD website at abileneisd.org. The public is invited to attend. Does a board member need to remove an item for discussion from the consent agenda tonight? That there not being any, do I have a motion regarding the consent agenda as presented? That would be Danny Wheat, and seconded by Rodney Goodman. We'll now take a roll call vote. Blair Schrader? Yes. Bill Enriquez?
Yes.
Taylor Tidmore?
Yes.
Cindy Earls? Yes. Angie Wiley? Yes. Rodney Goodman?
Yes.
Danny Wheat?
Yes.
The motion passes 7-0. The board. Now, we're now going to move on to item 8, reports. First up, Dr. Gustavo Villanueva, Associate Superintendent for Student Services. Welcome.
Good evening. 9 years ago, I can't believe it's been 9 years, we commissioned a task force to review the district's discipline and behavior support systems with the focus on making recommendations for improvement. And one of those key findings was that we needed a lot of support at the teacher level. So tonight you're going to hear about a program called CHAMPS that you've heard over time. Some of you that are new may not, but we're going to give you an overview of CHAMPS. CHAMPS is a classroom management framework that helps teachers establish clear behavior expectations and promotes positive student behavior. We have the pleasure of having 2 what we call CHAMPS coaches or behavior support coaches that do an amazing job supporting all of our teachers, but especially our new teachers or teachers who may be struggling with classroom management. So they're going to do most of the presentation. I've talked too much. Susan Pearsall and Wendy Moreland, come on up.
They're great. Thank y'all for being here tonight.
So happy to have y'all.
Randy says hello.
I'm sure he's wanting to be here with you. But tell him hi for us.
I will. You want to go first? Sure. Excuse my throat. I'm Wendy Moreland. I am the elementary CHAMPS coach for the district. I serve all 13 elementary schools.
And I'm Susan Pearsall, and I service all the secondary schools. Okay. So as Dr. V said, this is our 9th year, and CHAMPS, it is not a cookie cutter program, but it is a program that helps teachers use strategies, tier 1 strategies, that they can use in their classroom that captures 80% or more. So there's so many tier 1 strategies, and teachers that utilize many of them can capture 90 to 95% of their kids. So that means they have very few misbehaviors in their classroom. So that's what we do. We go around and we support teachers with tier 1 strategies. So CHAMPS is the elementary discipline in the classroom. Secondary classroom is what we use in the secondary level. Middle school uses CHAMPS. And then foundations, on every campus, there's a foundation team that uses the same strategies, but for the common areas on the campus. And it's made up of teachers on the campus and admin.
Saban Civil Schools is the company that produces all the materials that we use, CHAMPS. foundations, and discipline secondary classroom. Their focus and our focus for our district is to provide a proactive, positive, and instructional approach to behaviors. So we want to prevent problems before they start. We want to develop relationships by giving meaningful feedback in the classroom, and teach behavior just as we would teach reading and writing and math.
So there's 5 key elements that we teach all teachers. The first one is structure. How do you want to structure your classroom? And so that's all the systems and procedures you put in place. And I would say structure covers about 60%. It will be that preventive, proactive piece. Teach expectations. So if you see misbehaviors that you don't want to see, you've got to teach the behaviors you want to see in your classroom. So teach expectations, observe and give feedback. Every student wants attention, and so we want to give them attention for doing the right things. So we want to give them academic feedback, but we want to give them behavior feedback. And that walking around, movement, engaging with them, we don't want them just to sit and get, we want to interact with them, and that also develops a relationship. Interact positively. So there's lots of different ways that they can interact positively, from greeting to carrying on a conversation about their interest, to giving them feedback about academics and behavior in the classroom, and then correcting fluently. So there are ways that you can correct behavior to encourage the student to change behavior, and so we talk about those strategies.
You may notice on this slide that S, T, O, I, and C are all in red. The STOIC framework is how the CHAMPS book is divided. So that there are chapters on structure, chapters on teaching expectations, observing, interacting positively, and correcting fluently. A funny fact about Safe and Civil Schools is that they wanted to name their book, the title of their book, Stoic, but they didn't think that it would sell as well. Yes. So the CHAMPS piece, the CHAMPS, is just a really small part of the bigger picture of Stoic.
And I think all of you have access, but the little checklist in the corner, if you click on that, that's an example of, that won't let me go back. But if you click on it, that has an example of some tier 1 strategies where we made like a little chart that has the behavior, what it looks like, sounds like, so that teachers can see what it looks like, sounds like, especially if they're new, and then some suggested interventions. They don't have to do all of them, but they pick one that fits their style, their personality. And try that for 10 days. If that doesn't work, you can try a different one.
And here's some visuals, just giving you an idea of some of the things that Susan and I do each day. We train, and we don't just train teachers. If you see in the upper left-hand corner, we trained all the bus drivers. We created some systems in place for them. We've both ridden on routes since school started to help bus drivers. We help with libraries. The library aides in the elementary sometimes need extra support. The cafeterias, we go into common areas. Whenever a school may reach out to us and say, our cafeteria seems chaotic, can you come watch and give us some ideas for that structure? We do that. I have elementaries that say, things are crazy in our bathrooms. Can you come see how you can help with that? And we give structures for all of those. When our doors had to become locked a couple of years ago, we came up with structures for the teachers to use for door knocking and answering and all of those things. So we train teachers, we plan with teachers, we support them, and we do a lot of creating for them. And we have a video to show you of some of our amazing teachers.
Yes.
My name is Krista Connor. I am a 6th grade teacher here at Craig Middle School. I teach world cultures and world geography, and I love it.
I'm Andrea Brown. I'm a 4th grade teacher at Taylor Elementary, and today we're going to be talking about CHAMPS.
CHAMPS to me is more of a procedure of things. It keeps our routine smooth, our procedure smooth, and helps teachers align their curriculum and their day. It's easy to implement, and it helps the kids with a visual of what we're doing and how we're supposed to do it.
We like to use CHAMPS to help us as sort of a classroom management tool.
We keep hearing CHAMPS, but what does it mean, or what do they stand for? Well, the C stands for conversation. How loud or soft am I supposed to be talking? H is for help. How am I supposed to ask for help? Do I raise my hand? Can I ask my neighbor? A is for activity. How am I supposed to be working in what activity? We have group work, independent work. Then we have movement. When can I get out of my seat? P is for participation, and S is for success. So the great thing that I love about CHAMPS is it helps me stay organized, and it helps with keeping things in order, and it's easy to help with accountability. And I was able to use those in elementary and in middle school.
As a veteran teacher, my most favorite part of CHAMPS is actually the attention signal. I think that CHAMPS gives you the ability to tweak it to where it fits your personality. I have an old-fashioned kitchen timer, and my students do bell ringers every single day. They get 5 minutes. And as soon as that kitchen timer goes off, they know that it's time for action and we are ready to get the class started.
So with CHAMPS, I've been trying to make sure to give positive feedback to all my students on a regular basis. So one way that I do that is we use a punch card in my classroom, and so students earn hole punches for different behaviors or even for different math academics that they're doing in class that are really helpful. And it creates an environment where students are willing to share and be open.
It gives you structure. It helps you have and maintain control in your classroom. I think CHAMPS is perfect for new teachers because they have to come up with their own classroom plan. They have to come up with a way to be consistent in discipline, a way to be consistent with their words.
I think when you're brand new, you're wondering, what do I need to plan for? And CHAMPS is great because it tells you over plan for every scenario. Know exactly how you want them to look, how you want them to act, how you want them to sound. If you have that super structured framework, then you don't have underlying stress as you tweak it to your preferred classroom.
And we have some teachers that came tonight in case you had some questions.
Yeah.
That was a fantastic video.
Yeah,
It makes me feel like I might be a teacher. You guys are amazing. That is.
Come up to the podium.
I'm so shy.
Clearly. I just want to say thank you so much for explaining CHAMPS and what it means in your classroom. That was very easy for me to understand, and it sounds like it's very helpful to you guys.
I'm curious, like when we were walking to classrooms and we see on the board is this a different, a lot of times we just say the kids are just doing their own thing, and then it's like they're in small groups and listed, like what, and the kid, you'll see them look on where am I supposed to be next, and that's part of that classroom management. I mean, it seems like a tool, but is it, what is that called? I didn't see it anywhere. I mean, it's like they know where to go next, and they don't have to ask. They don't have to ask, and that's even.
I'm going to let Miss Mounty explain this. So she moved from the math classroom to CTE in a wood shop. And so she's taken these and applied it. So I think that's a great, because in the wood shop you have lots of movement, right? So I'm going to let her answer.
So it's like
that question.
Yeah. Tell me all about that.
Okay, well, we use small group rotations in the wood shop so that it's safe, so I don't have more than like 8 kids on tools at a time. And so how I do it is we rotate based on the table. And so each table has a shape, and it's all on the board, and I just blow a whistle and everyone puts on their headphones, and then if I blow another whistle, I change it to another shape. And so sometimes it's a wheel and sometimes it's just a shape on the board, but they get up and they move and they rotate, and they know that, if their shape isn't at the project's cycle of the day, then they're not allowed to be in the tool area of the wood shop.
Great.
So it's a means of communication, so that the transitions are fast, and so we can utilize instructional time.
Yeah, it's great.
So how important is structure in educating kids?
Extremely. I teach kindergarten, and so when they come to you, they really, through no fault of their own, for a lot of them, it's their first time in the education setting. So they literally come to you not knowing anything. Like, they don't know where to put things. They don't know when they can get up, when they can sit down. And what CHAMPS did for me was it taught me to think about everything and pre-answer all the questions. And you don't think that's possible, but I use a slideshow every day. Everything I do is on the slides. And at the bottom of every slide is what's coming next. At the top of every slide is a picture, because most of my kindergartners can't read, but it shows exactly how they should be sitting. If they're at the rug, it's a picture of someone crisscross applesauce, hands in their lap. If they're supposed to be at their desk, it shows feet on the floor, facing forward. And then that takes away the stress of having to discipline, because if you see a little friend not doing that, it's just as simple as you point at the side of the slide and they're like, and because they all want to do good. And so what you do with CHAMPS is in the Stoic model, is you set them up to be successful at doing good. So just from day one, that slideshow, and every year it's like, add something to the slideshow. I hadn't thought about this scenario, let me add it to my slideshow. So you grow with the process, your kids grow with the process, and you don't have to be mean or correcting, you get to enjoy teaching.
Do you guys think that the Stoic model and CHAMPS and these ladies and the student services team are an asset that Abilene ISD has that helps us recruit and retain teachers?
Definitely.
Absolutely.
With me teaching middle school, I teach 6th grade, and so they're really just like big 4th graders. So I mean, and when she's saying overthink everything, like when I walk in the classroom, where do I put my things? How do you want me to get this? How do you want me to do that? So I have to walk through my lessons as well. But the higher the structure, the less behavior issues. We're not saying that they don't exist. They still will rear their ugly head every now and then, but you have less of them. And what I love best about CHAMPS is they're taking accountability. You're able to just keep on, you're really just facilitating, because they're gonna run it, and they're gonna have people that hold them accountable as well. And so you can keep teaching, and you can point to that picture, you can point to this, or you can make that signal or whatever, and they're gonna know exactly what to do, and they're gonna correct themselves. So that's what I like about it, because with that, and also because it helps me stay on point to where I need to go, because I like squirrel moments, so it's great, it's great.
I also love how beautifully it pairs with Capturing Kids' Hearts, because I recently went to the Capturing Kids' Hearts Processing Champions training for my school, and you kind of think it's a beautiful idea, the Capturing Kids' Hearts, but if you don't have a framework in place, you will not have the time or the authority to capture their heart, because they'll be running wild. So when you have the CHAMPS and the Stoic model as your foundation, you then have the time, and there's a mutual respect where you can capture their heart. You can do the launches, you can do all the wonderful things about CKH, which you could not do if there wasn't that framework in place.
Yeah, they kind of go hand in hand, because
they're a beautiful partnership.
You have a better relationship, you don't have as many behaviors. They might cut up in the hallway, but they know as soon as they enter that classroom door, they're like, oh no, we don't do that in here.
That is wonderful to hear.
So it's great.
Do you coordinate some of your pictures and your actions with fellow teachers on campus? So when a child goes from grade to grade, they're not learning a new language, they're doing the same thing again?
It's school-wide. We have meetings, we have trainings, and we come up with like a school-wide callback. We call back if we say, like, if we're doing our common areas, hey, keep it clean, because in middle school they're not. And so you can keep it clean, they know exactly what it means, and everybody is on the same page. It's simple and it's easy for everyone to be on the same page and have the same language. So even if they go to another school, they're like, hey, I've heard something like that before. And it can be vertical, it can be horizontal.
So the teachers that are resistant to this, are you able to, you have your ambassadors at different schools who are latched on and doing very well, obviously. Do you allow that to be a part of your web network?
We take teachers with us to visits and show them a classroom that would be a model classroom. Then afterwards we would visit, what did you like, what was confusing to you, what is something that you could implement.
Yeah.
So we just had taken 3 new teachers to observe for a day. And afterwards they were like, they just had light bulb moments. To see it in action helps them fully understand the concepts that we were trying to teach them.
I really appreciate you guys being willing to take your time to make the video and to come here tonight. I've always believed that to build trust in the community, you have to throw open the windows and the doors of your schools and let people see what you're doing with their children. And this is a great example of the professionalism that goes on within our school walls that sometimes people on the outside don't realize. But you guys are so professional and doing such a great job, and I appreciate you not only doing it, but being able to come and tell us about it. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
It works. I have a 6-year-old grandson in kindergarten. We let him repeat it because it didn't do well. But this year, that's what they're doing with him. And he's caught on to the concept, and he's accountable for his actions. So this week, he got, at the end of the week, he had 10 hearts out of 13, so he got a prize.
That is wonderful. Thank you for sharing that. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
That's awesome.
Happy babies are nice to have at home. Our next is Dr. Karen Munoz joining us for, she's our Executive Director for Innovation and Program Development. She will be giving us updates in our bilingual ESL program. Thank you, Karen.
Hello, good evening. Every year in October, someone brings to you how we are doing in our bilingual and ESL programs in the district. And so, as a reminder, the purpose of our programs that we have is to target English language acquisition. We want them to, which does of course include our listening, speaking, reading, and writing. And those probably are very familiar to you because I know Mrs. Blue spoke to you about TELPAS last month, and this just goes hand in hand. That's what we want to do, is continuously build their language acquisition in these 4 areas. Here's a list of the 30 languages that we do have in our district. So just to kind of give you of the Spanish languages, those are represented by 10 different countries in just Spanish. So I have not been able to get the data for all the other languages and what countries they all represent, but definitely for Spanish, we have 10 different countries represented here in Abilene that speak Spanish. As you can see, our numbers have grown each and every year, and they continue to grow. This number of 1,258 was as of September the 20th. We are now at 1,272 as of today. And we know of 5 more who will be here on Wednesday to enroll. So our numbers continue to grow. And here's a breakdown of how many emergent bilinguals we have on every campus. And as you can see, our larger campuses, Abilene High, Cooper, have increased this year. Craig has definitely increased. Ortiz has increased quite a bit. Thomas. And so we're doing our best to try to provide as many resources as we can for those campuses, because it is an extra hard task to try to teach them. So just as a reminder of the programs we do have a dual language program. It's considered a one-way program, which means we are speaking in English and Spanish, and all of the participants in this program are Spanish speakers. That's what makes it one way. And that is at Ortiz. This year we added pre-K at Ortiz, and so there are 2 classrooms there of pre-K students who are beginning the program and will just continue to grow and develop their first language, which is Spanish, and then that helps with their acquisition of English as they go year by year. We do have Summit K-12, which we've shared with you before. This is an online program that is offered to every single one of our emergent bilinguals, and it helps develop each of those skills, the listening, speaking, reading, and writing. So all of our emergent bilinguals do participate in that, and we want them to at least do it twice a week to get some practice. This does help prepare them for that TELPAS test that they take. We do have the newcomer centers, which are located at Thomas and Clack and Craig middle schools. These are students that are new to the country. Usually they stay there about 2 years, 1 to 2 years. It just depends on when they come to Abilene ISD and kind of what their levels are. Let me go back to the dual language program. Although I'm not, this year we had to add a new dual language program, and it is not the same as our bilingual Spanish one. The state requires that if you have 20 students in one language in one grade level across the district, you must have a bilingual program. We have that for Swahili students. So this year is our first year to have a pre-K Swahili bilingual program. Now, that's very difficult to have because the state does not recognize the Swahili. There is no certification for a Swahili teacher. So we would never be able to truly create a true dual language immersion type for them. So we are just giving some extra opportunities for those students to share their culture more. We've provided books for their libraries that are in Swahili to kind of help build their skills, but also still learn English. So it is we call an early exit program. We want them to be with other students who are learning English or who speak English, and then that just helps them with their language acquisition along the way. So we do have that at Long Early Childhood Center this year. Next year we will have to add kindergarten. So that's in the planning phase of what that looks like, but is a new challenge we have. Newcomer centers, again, covered that on the students that go there 1 to 2 years in the United States. We've also begun a collaboration with the International Rescue Committee, where we are providing some transition services to their brand new students who come with them, and we provide some culture time for those students. We want them to understand this is what you do in a school setting. This is how you ask to go to the restroom. This is how you ask to get up and go get a pencil. You know, those are cultural things that they may not be used to, especially if they've never been in a school setting or they're coming to the United States. You have some countries where the teachers rotate from class to class. In our schools, students rotate from class to class. So they're just those little cultural things that we want to expose them to before we put them through the full-day Newcomer Center. And then finally, every single campus has ESL programs because we have ESL teachers on every one of our campuses that can help serve. They're equipped with specific strategies that will help our students. We do have to request some waivers this year. And last year we had to request 38 ESL waivers and 4 bilingual. This year, 37 ESL waivers approximately. We're still working on that number. And then bilingual, we need 7 waivers. That means these teachers are not certified in ESL or not certified as a bilingual teacher. So we will request these waivers from TEA, and then we will also provide professional development for them, help them work on those certification exams. We provide training for them, and then we also help with the cost of those exams when it comes to it. And then, of course, Mrs. Blue did go in depth with what it takes for you to get exited from a program. You know, it's really quite extensive. The big ones are the passing of the state exam, but also just how high you have to perform on the TELPAS exam. So very difficult, but as you can see this year we were able to exit some students. 2 years ago, we only exited 3 students. So we are making gains. Last year, we were able to exit 29, and now this year, 38. So we're making progress, and we're excited about that. They're performing much better on the speaking part of the TELPAS exam. It's the writing that's getting them now. So we will just have to work harder in that area. Graduation, we are always proud of the fact that we don't have any emergent bilinguals that just cannot not graduate. We're excited that they have those opportunities, and then we have staff at the high school level that go overboard to help them graduate. And then again, I know Mrs. Blue shared some of this, but just comparing the composite ratings from that TELPAS exam from last year to this year. We gained in beginning ratings, intermediate, went down in advanced, and down in advanced high. And of course, we need them to get to advanced high to exit the program. And just finally, we're going to continue doing what we're doing. Campus administrators are in depth looking at their data because it does affect their accountability scores. We're still implementing Summit K-12 across all campuses, and just conversing with emergent bilinguals and telling them just how important it is to take that TELPAS exam seriously. Many get tired of it, but once you explain to them why they have to keep taking it and that they're just sometimes blowing off the exam, makes a big difference. So just having conversations and having that relationship that you need to have with students to help them understand the why of things. And of course, when we administer the TELPAS, just making sure that they're done in small groups, that they're done with space between them as they record themselves on microphones. We know we don't like others to hear us on microphones, so they have to record themselves and get it correct without their friend saying something. So just making sure we're doing that and providing the best platform for them to be successful.
What kind of certification do the teachers that work with these older children, I assume, doing the testing and stuff, are they certified in any particular thing? Or are they just willing and getting to be able?
Do you mean teachers who give the TELPAS exam? Or
Well, not
just
not
teach
necessarily
that
to give it, but work with the kids in preparation
for it? They are all certified teachers. They're ESL teachers.
They're ESL teachers, okay.
Yes. Each campus does it their own way and chooses how they work on Summit K-12, but they're all certified teachers that are working in small groups with them.
Okay.
And with over 1,200 students in this program, that's almost 10% of our student population. I can't imagine there are many districts in the state who have that many kids, or that percentage of their student population that are in that program. And so I think it's something for our district to be proud of,
Absolutely.
that we are welcoming these students, that we're not shying away from this, and that we're putting time and energy and effort to do it the best we can. I mean, I know it's got to be hard, but I think it's something our district should be proud of, that we are tackling that and doing it well.
Absolutely. I mean, we have so many, we are a very multicultural community, and it's pretty amazing. And when you hear the stories of staff members, new staff members who are being hired, and just how excited they are of the opportunities that their children now have in the community, and then how much they want to invest in our community to make that even better for families that are coming in that way. So it's pretty amazing.
If I remember right, so the emergent bilinguals that are Spanish, they can take the STAR test in Spanish.
Up to 5th grade
Okay,
only.
but that's not the case with any other language.
No.
And then the Spanish, it's just different. We have these relocated, because of the IRC, we're one of those communities that they come to, they may not have but a few months to get prepared for that test, and it's in English.
Yes.
So we've learned a lot in the last few months in our board meetings, and it helps us understand and how to communicate to the community, and like I said, we're proud to be serving, but it is not easy, and it takes a lot of resources.
And there are a lot of people just willing to give and love on them and try to figure out the best way. And we still continually, day
But
by
if we
day,
can
think about
produce-
that.
If we can produce them learning and able to move on to further education or get a job, then it's a great service to the community.
Absolutely.
Because they need that to be successful, so.
And just remember that their very first year here does not count on the assessments, so.
Well, you said something about students who speak Spanish from 10 different countries.
Yes.
They're not all speaking the same Spanish, are they?
Right. But they understand, but it's easier to understand because very similarly to Swahili, Kirundi, and Kinyarwanda, all of those are very similar in dialect. So if you know one, you could probably catch on to what they're saying. So, yeah, absolutely.
But it's not
It's
a
different,
one-for-one
but
swap.
That's exactly right.
Thank you so much. Are there any
Thank you,
next
Dr.
questions?
Munoz.
Thank you.
Thank you. Next, Ms. Patty Blue, Associate Superintendent for Curriculum, once again coming to the podium to talk about goal progress monitoring. And this directly links back to what Dr. Kuhn spoke about earlier in our efforts as a board to focus on student achievement. And hopefully you will see why when they are done.
Good evening. I brought the team with me.
You did.
This ties back to the Lone Star governance, where we said we had House Bill 3's, the 3 goals. We're going to kind of give you a little update about where we are on the 3rd grade math and 3rd grade literacy goal. I'm going to share a little bit about the goal information, but these ladies are the boots on the ground kind of people. So as far as the in the trenches day to day and knowing exactly what this looks like, these 3 ladies, this is Carrie Thornburg, that you know, this is Mandy Joyner, and this is Kelly Grigsby. So the first goal is our 3rd grade, and that we are going to increase the meets or above from 40% up to 53%. For this school year, our goal is to get to 47. Last school year, we were at 41%. The first progress measure is talking about kindergarten, and we're using the reading maps test. So we want to increase from 37 last May to 41. The September test that we gave at the beginning of the year is 39%. Now, I'm going to let the ladies kind of walk you through. Mandy's going to kind of walk you through because there's a little bit of quirks about this test and what it's testing. And I'm just going to give her a chance to kind of explain to you just a little bit about what that means.
Yes, so MAPS is, all the students are on a iPad and they're individually taking the test. Okay. And it is, it's comparing them to students all across the nation. So at the end of the test, it's going to give them a percentile of where they fall in that assessment. And as they answer questions, the questions may get more difficult or more simple. And by the end of it, it's going to get a RIT score. So right at their level, what type of questions are they answering and reading? And this 37%, the 41% that we're saying that are meets or masters, these are students that finish at the average and above average percentiles on MAP, which I believe is the 60th percentile all the way up to 100th percentile. So that's where you're getting those percentages.
Yeah, and so I'll just add to that with the percentages. So it's a nationally normed test, like Mandy was saying, and so to be pretty much on target in a grade level, it's like a bell curve. So you're hitting at 50%, right in the middle. And so if we are targeting our kids to be 61% and above achievement on those tests, then we're actually hitting above grade level standard compared to all the other kids in the nation in that grade level. So when we're talking about 37% or 41%, that means we are trying to eke up to where it's basically on grade level with our target being above grade level. Does that help? Mm-hmm. Okay.
So you can see for kindergarten at our beginning of the year, we were at 39%. For first grade, 28% is where we ended last year. 31% is our goal. We are at 33%.
All right.
Yes, we will take that. So that means that we've got some kids we can push even farther along during the school year. Second grade ended at 35, goal to be at 38. We've got a little bit of a slip here, but keep in mind we tested at the end of year and this is beginning of year. So there's a little bit of a time lapse in there. So we haven't hit panic mode over this yet.
It's a different cohort of kids, right?
Right.
Different group of kids.
Third grade, again, going from 38 to 41, beginning of year was 32%. So we have a little bit of work, but again, we're talking about 2 different times of year with 2 different groups of kids. And then we have the same thing available to us in math. And you can see there, ended at 46, goal is 50, starting the year at 39.
Can I just add
Go
to
ahead,
that?
Kelly.
I just want to add to that. So
with MAP, when they start in kindergarten, when they go to first grade, it is on a first grade level test. It is not continuing from where they left off. They are starting with first grade TEKS and learning from that. And most of the questions that are on MAP are a difficulty level of a 2 or a 3, which is what we would count on a star, which is a more rigorous question than where they would lead off. And where these numbers show for kindergarten, they were below right now. Last year, our kindergartners grew 10 points from beginning of year to end of year. So there are some processes, and as they take the test, so where they start beginning of year, when they take the middle of year, it doesn't start over. It starts from where they should be, and it gets more rigorous as they go.
Okay. Thank you.
And so we have second grade scores. And we have the third grade scores. The students will take this again in the middle of the year. And so we'll be able to compare, and that will be, right now these ladies are already working with campuses to look at this data, to come up with plans. What do we need to do to make sure our instruction's on track, to fill in their gaps. When we take it again at the middle of the year, they'll do the comparison, looking at growth for each individual kid. Which ones are growing, which ones are not? What do we need to do to help and support? So that'll be the next point that we can really come in and diagnose what we need to be doing a little more specifically for kids. But this is a big tool for us that we keep on track about what's happening. We do have other tools that we're using, but this is the one that felt like it fit the goal progress monitoring model the best, because we do this 3 times a year. Some of the other tools, we don't do that frequently to really be able to progress monitor throughout the year. So if you have questions or.
It's information we've never seen.
You said the test they take at the beginning of the year, not the same test they take in the middle of the year and the end of the year. It's going to get progressively harder.
Yes. Yeah. This is one of those AI kind of things. That based on how the kids are answering the questions, it starts the branching, whether you're getting it right and we go up, or you're getting it wrong and we try to go down and find where you are.
It also gives teachers a lot of detail on how to plan for pulling kids for small groups. Our teachers use it. We have a lot of our elementary campuses have win time, or what I need time, and that's where those teachers use this data to group their kids and based on their needs to close those learning gaps.
So they can identify kids that have the same needs.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
So as a parent who has sat through my share of ARDS and the IEPs, and then also having a wife with special ed, to me this is one of the most important data points, because it helps me measure progress over time to see what's working and what's not. It helps us in the summer figure out, hey, where do we need to lean in a little extra, instead of just having them do things because we know we're supposed to have our kids do stuff in the summer. But like, how are we doing the things that they need to be able to help them excel and grow? So this is great data, and thank y'all for digging in.
Yeah, it gives very specific data for that reason, even for parents. There's a family report that goes home that gives specific things that their kids need to work on. So it kind of helps the parents at home.
And we do give maps all the way up through 8th grade. Recently had conversation with some middle school parents, and they were very versed in this, and they said they almost look forward to this information more than they do grades, because this was really a better picture for them to know exactly what their child was doing and not doing and how they could help. So we do give this all the way up through 8th grade, and they use it very similarly. It just doesn't match one of the goals, so that's why we weren't reporting that.
And the parents get the reports 3 times a year at the beginning,
Yes.
middle, and end?
The schools are required to send them home within 7 days.
Okay, excellent. Thank y'all so much. This is great information.
Next, we're going to move, and Dr. Kuhn's going to open up a discussion about our recent trip to the TASB convention in San Antonio.
So yeah, recently several board members, along with myself and Joe Waldron, went to, and Patty also went with us to, I'm sorry, Patty, you were a last minute add-on, went with us to the TASB, and Mike Leeser was there. I apologize, Mike. Anybody else? Anybody else? Okay. We went to TASB. We had the opportunity to go through sessions from a whole bunch of different presenters and listen to Texas Education Commissioner, listen to other general session speakers that were quite inspiring, quite informational. And I don't have anything else to say. I just want to be quiet and let those of you who went share your reflections with any board members who weren't able to go or with the general public.
I did 3 sessions on AI, and it was fascinating. I mean, really fascinating. It's something that we're partially using here in the district now, but it can be expanded for more usage, excuse me. But one of the downsides is, of course, they take it and make negative things, not so much the school district, but AI itself is used in a negative way. But when it's used in a positive way, it's an incredible tool for our children. Incredible.
Thank you, Bill.
I went to a very good one on legal information presented by Mike.
Great job, Mike. I think the highlight for me was the first general session with, it was a man that they made a movie about on Netflix, Amazon Prime. A Million Miles Away is the name of the movie, and he was a migrant, child of migrant workers in California who a teacher basically helped make sure he got an education, ended up being an astronaut. And wonderful movie if you haven't seen it, but also great presentation. Teacher changed his life.
And one of those about stick-to-itiveness, because he kept applying and being rejected and applying again. What was it, 12 or 13? The 12th time he made it, and he ended up going up in on one of the flights. I enjoyed that one as well. And when I go to the sessions there, it's interesting to hear the concerns of people from all over the state. And sometimes I think, wow, yeah, we need to be working on that. And then other times somebody will mention something and I think, we took care of that years ago. Where you been? But it's real interesting to hear from different areas and different people. And we are all pretty much working in the same areas of concern and with the same shortfalls that we are needing to work with now. But we're all in the same boat together. True. So in that, it's really encouraging. We're not out here fighting a battle, Don Quixote style all by ourselves. We got lots of company.
Agree. I had spent most of my sessions on trying to meet and spend time with other presidents since I'm new, and I did meet some amazing people who have been at this a long time and very kind. And I noticed that the same thing Cindy was mentioning, that it was more of a sense of camaraderie. We're in this together. It was never like, comparison of any sort. You were just proud for public school. And whatever any other system was accomplishing or touting, you were just pretty happy for them. And that was just different a little bit this year, more of a group effort for public school. And that was very much heartening for me, and I did enjoy my sessions. And getting the input from other people and getting emails sent to me, like, send me that, you use that, send that to me. They were sending me templates and offering some of the things that we do that they were interested in. So that was a different spirit.
Nice.
And thanks for sending us and letting us do that. It is a very good experience for our board and team of 8.
I agree.
Okay. We're going to move right on into item 9, business items requiring board action. Item 9A is Board of Directors for the Taylor County Appraisal District. Jennifer Hines, our Executive Director for Finance, will come on up and give us a little information about what we're going to be talking about.
Good evening. This is just a continuation of something we spoke about last month, and you heard from Gary Ernest earlier. This is the next step in the process. Just a little bit about the nomination process. It's a regular recurring action item. The nominees that you someone that's selected as a nominee has to satisfy eligibility requirements, including residency, employment, and conflict of interest. We have to nominate a candidate by adoption of a resolution before October 15th. That would go to the appraisal district, and a ballot would be prepared. And then the next board meeting, you would vote and place, I believe we have a little over 1,200 votes towards our nomination. So this is the first step. Second step is the vote. So it's pretty short and sweet. The recommendation is to approve the resolution with a nomination for the Taylor County Appraisal District Board of Directors. That is solely up to you on who to nominate. Mr. John Stearns is available and willing to serve again if that is how you so choose to move forward. But right now, that's your choice. Do you have any questions for me?
Okay, as a note, we did have quite a thorough presentation from the appraisal district chief appraiser earlier today. Is there a motion regarding the nomination of the board of directors for the Taylor County Appraisal District?
I move to approve the nomination of John Stearns to the board of directors of the Taylor County Appraisal District as presented.
We have a motion by Rodney and a second by Bill. We'll now take a roll call vote. Cindy Earls?
Yes.
Taylor Tidmore?
Yes.
Rodney Goodman?
Yes.
Blair Schrader?
Yes.
Danny Wheat?
Yes.
Angie Wiley? Yes. Bill Enriquez?
Yes.
Motion passes 7-0. We'll now move to item 9B, modification to the 24-25 AISD calendar. Ms. Allison Sims is joining us she's Associate Superintendent for the Development of Human Resources, to move us along on this item to consider.
Yes, so normally I am here talking to you about the 25-26 school calendar, but we're going to reverse a little bit and we're going to talk about the 24-25 calendar. We've received quite a bit of feedback from district leaders, principals, about the fact that we did not have as many staff development days built into our school calendar this year. Typically, we would offer one in October and we would offer one in February. And so we have one in February. We do not have one in October. So we obviously can't reverse that quickly. So I met with the DWCC and shared with them that concern. They all heard that and really agreed that it was an issue just with our campuses having time to have some dedicated planning campus-wise, especially that February last little push before we take our STAR testing, so that they can plan some intervention and extra support to those students. So the DWCC approved 2 days, up to 2 days of additional staff development days worked into this school year calendar. My suggestion, and in talking to our cabinet group and just kind of listening to the concerns of the DWCC, would be to just add one. And that one date, so here are some of the feedback from campus staff, and then capturing kids' hearts and professional learning community kind of training that would happen on that day. There is the current spring calendar. The date that we would suggest adding is a staff development day, which would be a teacher day, but not a student day. So students would stay home, would be February the 14th. And that also, it's nice because the 17th is also a staff development day. So it gives that Friday and that Monday of focus time for campuses to plan and for us to do some training before we get into that last push before our STAR testing. So it would require a board vote to look at that. This does give students and families a longer kind of break in February. And it works, the 1 day works better too because of UIL issues related to eligibility that Coach Garr and Clay Johnson shared with me would be a concern to do it any other time. So that is our suggestion to you. We feel like it would be utilized well, capturing kids' hearts, and then some dedicated campus planning time for our leaders to add that.
Would this be required that the teachers be there?
Yes. Yes, it would be, so that day is a contract day, so teachers can't just decide to, I mean, they can, but they would have to use either a personal business day or a sick day, and they would then miss training. So it is a day that teachers are getting paid for. The only thing that it would do is it would reduce our number of days of student days, which I looked and we were over what the state mandated minutes are by almost 6 days. So we have plenty of padding there. I'm not concerned. Even if we were to have a bad weather event, it wouldn't get us, I don't think it would get us in trouble there having to do a makeup day. So
we are picking one or two.
the DWCC approved 2. I am recommending us just doing 1 and it making that February the 14th. We feel like also we need to get this taken care of so that parents, if you approve it, can plan so that they know that those 2 days, there's going to be an additional day that they'll need to cover for students that day if they have younger students at home.
And despite what the calendar says, February is the longest month of the year.
Ms. Earls, you are correct. October and February tend to be 2 tougher months in the life of a school. So I think these dates really would be very helpful to our people.
Right.
Next year's calendar would have an additional day then?
Next year's calendar, we will work that in there. Really, ideally, there would be 1 in the fall and 1 in the spring where students don't come, but teachers do. It's just too late, we feel like, to get that in the calendar for this fall. We want to be able to because parents would have to pivot, and we don't want to have them scrambling trying to figure out where their kiddos are going to go. This way, it gives them plenty of time to make plans to accommodate that.
Great. Any questions for Allison?
Makes sense to me.
Well, is there a motion regarding the modification to the 24-25 AISD calendar?
I move to approve the modification to add 1 staff development day to the 24-25 academic calendar.
Motion was made by Cindy. Do we have a second?
Second.
Made by Blair. Thank you. We will now take a roll call vote. Rodney Goodman?
Yes.
Angie Wiley, yes. Cindy Earls?
Yes.
Blair Schrader?
Yes.
Danny Wee?
Yes.
Taylor Tidmore?
Yes.
Bill Enriquez?
Yes.
Vote. The motion passes 7-0. Thank you. There being no further business, this meeting is adjourned. The time is 8:24. The board will return to closed session.
Don't adjourn.